Welcome to Immerse Podcast 360. I'm your host, Maserati. We want to thank you for tuning in. That was the Tuskegee Marching Golden Tiger Marching Band with We're Gonna Ball and Parlay. That's what we're going to do today. We ball and parlay in Tuskegee University, one of their finest. Yes, it's Mr. Rodney Anthony. It's Beyond the Game. We want to thank you for tuning in. This is being brought to you by Involved Social and Civic Club, where we understand the social and civic need of love, learn, live, and laugh. We want to thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscriptions on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. If you guys can like this content, want us to continue this show, we want you to continue to share and like and subscribe to our channels and various platforms. We have a great show. It's Sunday Beyond the Game with one of our own. He's the first Bastrop Ram to ever play at Tuskegee University. Yes, he was born in Bastrop March 10th, 1988 to Mr. Hercules and Miss Dorothy Anthony. He's one of 11 siblings, were 6 adopted and 2 step siblings. He was a 2-time all-district DB and state champion at Bastrop High, where he helped the Rams win the state championship in 2005. Anthony was an all-around athlete. He ran track, played basketball, and he was a great medal winner for the Rams in track. He ran the 400, the 4x4, 300 meters, and the 110-meter hurdles, where he won various medals and awards. Mr. Anthony is the proud and profound legend and standout of Tuskegee University. He's now married, living in Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the first one to go to Tuskegee is Mr. Rodney Anthony. How you doing today, Rodney?
I'm doing fine. I appreciate that introduction. And I say that like from the bottom of my heart because I don't really talk too much about myself, but that introduction actually made me feel like I was still in the game.
Right. I know you was gonna love that ball and parlay. How y'all did it down there at Tuskegee, man. Kind of tell us how you grew up in Scrop City, man. Tell us about you, Rodney.
Growing up in Bastrop, Bastrop being a small city, it was a beautiful thing, and I say it was beautiful because it taught us and it taught me how to live with and without. You know, growing up, we all played sports. Growing up across there, my mom was a single parent mom, but dad was still heavily involved. But that didn't stop me from doing a lot of and being success. At the end of the day, being very successful. But growing up in Bastrop, at that time, it was a village. It was a village raising up as young men and young ladies at the time. And I love it. I wouldn't take anything back from the being in the backyard playing football, baseball, racing, playing basketball, sun up, sun down. I wouldn't change anything. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know, a lot of folks always talk about how boring Bastrop was, but I wasn't bored. You know, we always found something to do. So I love where I'm from.
Right. You know, coming from Cross Am, there's a lot of great athletes, and the culture is very found over there. How was it living up to some of those guys, and who were some of those guys you looked up to Cross Am?
Oh, it's a lot, and I don't want to miss anyone because Cross Am is full of athletes. To just to name a few, I'm gonna start out with my cousin now, Charles Reed, Cedric Chapman. Then you had the Edmonds, you had Victor, you had Dale, Sean, you had Joe Lee, you had Jed, you had Ivory Brown, Lamar Williams. It's just to name a few. I could keep going. I might could go a whole day naming athletes from across there because we produce a lot of athletes from across there.
Right. You know, and Anthony, a lot of people don't know about you, but you pretty much were a 4-star athlete from childhood all the way through. Kind of elaborate with the people about how you were in high school and the standards you had to live up to playing all 4 sports.
It started before I got to high school. My mom and dad kept me involved in everything because, one, I wanted to be involved. And by the time I got to high school, it just was a continuous thing, And being a student athlete playing all four sports, it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It caused a lot of determination, dedication, commitment. Understanding that the first thing I had to do was keep my grades, because if I didn't have the grades, my mama now definitely wasn't gonna let me play. So I would say I was a true definition of a student athlete. Now I wish I could have did better, for a grade wise from the beginning, but I was a true definition of a student athlete, because I understood that in order for me to play, I had to take care of business in the classroom first, and just like with the sports I played, it teach you, one, a coach gonna teach you your assignment. You practicing every day to get better at what you do. You got to be committed to what you do. You have to be dedicated, and all that just boils down to having character and overcoming adversity, because you might not succeed or do what you want to do. So you'll have that adversity, but that would make you a better person. So as a student athlete, I look at that. I look at that a lot, because as a student, you got to take care of the student first, being a student first before the athlete.
Right. And Rodney, you were the definition of a true student athlete. Just knowing your intellect and how intelligent you were, you excelled in the classroom, like you said, but you also were one, even at a young age, you was involved in a lot of different organizations, and people didn't know that helped you aid to get your scholarship later on. Kind of tell the students about the importance of being involved in more social activities.
It's very important, because you never know who you're going to come across. I was even part of Boy Scout, and to this day, sometimes I still converse with some of my Boy Scout leaders and people that I was part of Boy Scout, and I still talk to some of my coaches who taught me who coached me when I was younger, like Jesse Duvall, Coach Jesse, Coach Terry Newsom. I still talk to them. Like, I was another son to them. So being involved and being very socially active actually helped me as well. Until this day, just having that connection and having different people, a variety of people I could talk to when I need to talk to someone about something, outside my parents. So it's definitely important that you be involved socially. Don't limit yourself, because in today's time, you want to be active. You want to be active. You want to be involved, because it'll help you in the long run.
Right. And Rodney, you stayed involved, like I say, all through your younger years, being a Boy Scout, all the way through high school. And then that day finally came when Rodney Anthony got a chance to prove himself, and you guys won the state championship in 2005. How did you feel about that, Rodney, finally showing that you are part of a champion bloodline?
It was a beautiful thing. And I would say it was a beautiful thing, because from the beginning, blood, sweat, and tears, we that we shared on that battlefield with my brother, that I shared on the battlefield with my brother, and to accomplish that at the end, it meant a lot, because it wasn't just for me, it was for us. Like, we did that together, and it just, until this day, we have plenty of stories, that we talk about when it comes down to winning the first state championship. That we always, I'm laughing, because it's a story that we'll take to our grave. Even as old men, that I feel we'll continue talking about, because, like I say, at the end of the day, it was a beautiful thing. It was to bring that home to a city, to Bastrop, because we played for the people who was before us. We played for one another first, and the people before us in the community, because if you think about it, around that time and before that time, Bastrop almost shut down to come to the game and support, and that was man, that was a privilege to see all them folks at the game and performing before all them folks. And that's something, man, I'm getting excited now. I'm getting that adrenaline pumping now just thinking about it. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And then to come across the different coaches that we had, the Coach Bradshaw, the Coach Tilt, the Coach Perk, the Coach Staston, the Coach Davis, it was different. It was different.
Right. And you went on and you ended up getting a scholarship to Southern Arkansas University. Kind of tell people about that. That's where your collegiate career started. You was first conference, all Gulf Conference, and forced fumbles your freshman year, various tackles, and all type of defensive award down in the Gulf Coast. Tell people about that, which led to leading to Tuskegee.
Starting off at Southern Arkansas, I tell people high school practices was harder than it was at Southern Arkansas. They used to have to tell me, calm down, so it was an easy transition when it came down to the practice part in learning, because I really feel like Bastrop High, we was a baby college, when it came down to preparation, being prepared for the game. And coming in my freshman year, I ended up redshirting because my transcript, I was cleared late, so I ended up redshirting. But I'm glad I did as well, because I was able to pick up more weight, learn the system better and everything. So that following year, it was just on me to go out and perform. And I did that, being ranked in the nation in several things, being ranked in the conference in several things. And I just strived on just trying to be a better me each and every day at practice and in the game, so that carry on, because that was just my character. I became wiser. I became older, so I was wise, so I understood what it takes to be successful, more successful.
Right. And, Rodney, you to show that your accolades and you were doing your thing at Southern Arkansas, we want to know before we take an intermission, what kind of led up to you finally making that call and transferring, knowing that you're a standout athlete here, your potential is great. You're a freshman doing this, but you decided, hey, I'm going to take this talent somewhere else. Why did you leave Southern Arkansas?
Well, it was there's some things happened that I didn't agree with. So the coaches and I, we talked about it. We wasn't able at the time to come to an agreement on what was happening. So I informed them, out of respect, in order for me to stay, we need to come to a better agreement, because I believe in, one, letting my work, me putting my work, be the reason why I do X, Y, and Z. I don't want it to be handed to me, because I never had anything handed to me, So we wasn't able to get come down to agreement. So I reached out to one of the coaches that was at Southern Arkansas doing my recruiting, who ended up going to Tuskegee, and I was informing him, like, hey, I'm thinking about leaving, because I had other options. Actually, I went to ULM for a semester. And at the time, it was just too close to home. So I reached out to the coach and be like, hey, I'm going to bring you down here up here to Tuskegee, and you tell me what you think. And at that time, I didn't know too much about Tuskegee. I really didn't. And attending Tuskegee, that says a lot, because it's a lot of rich history down there. Up there at Tuskegee that we should have known, So we made the head coach offered me a scholarship at Tuskegee. So I like LeBron James said, I took my talent to Tuskegee, Alabama, where I became a Golden Tiger.
Right. And that's what we want to elaborate on. That historic moment. I think it's only two people from this area and from Mohawk Parish, if my history and my remembrance call me correct, you and Miss Eva Cowles, I believe, are the only two to attend Tuskegee, and you being the first one to get a bachelor's degree and play football at a prestigious institution like Tuskegee. When we come back, we want you to share with the people about that experience, the whole ball and parlay thing, and being at historical HBCU like Tuskegee. When we come back, we're still with our own legend and standout, Tuskegee University, Rodney Anthony, when we return. Welcome back. This portion of the show is being brought to you by 720 Gamers Group, and we want to thank you for staying tuned in. We're with standout and Scrap City legend Rodney Anthony of Tuskegee University, the first one and the first Ram to ever do it. Rodney, share with the people about playing at prestigious Tuskegee.
Wow, I just being at an HBCU alone was different. I would have never thought I would have went to HBCU, but God knows I'm happy I did, because the experience, the atmosphere, like the camaraderie, like the family atmosphere, it was beautiful. Then being a part of the football team, where we were one of the winningest HBCU programs around, it was like words can't explain, and like the song say, we ball and parlay. We took care of business. We gonna ball, we gonna parlay, but at the end of the day, we got our grades. I played with doctors, I played with now engineers, so we wasn't slacking when it comes down to the academic part on that team, and coach made sure of that, so man, it's just hard to put it in words, because it was a beautiful thing. And when I say, I recommend everyone to go down there to Tuskegee University game, especially homecoming. Oh man, so
right,
it was beautiful.
And I know you is lost for words, bro. Just the little research I know about Tuskegee and watching some of the games. And things like that, of that nature, and listening to that song and listening to the band, I know you're lost of words for it, but I want you to take your time, and I want you to give the kids and the people about the academic perspective and how serious it is at Tuskegee, and that's just like being at an Ivy League school for historical Black universities. Share with us, Rodney, how challenging it was to maintain those grades, brother.
It was very challenging, because they held us to high expectations. Despite us being student athletes, we were held to higher expectations. Like, for example, if I had a game on a Thursday and we had to leave on Tuesday or Wednesday, and the assignment was due that Thursday, I had teachers used to tell us, like, hey, you're going to either have the assignment turned in before or on the due date. And so I had to make sure I take care of business, because once again, it was academic before being an athlete. And Tuskegee, just to give a little history on it, we have one of the best engineering programs, have one of the best nursing programs, have the top 5 veterinary program on campus. And with me having my degree in social work, we were ranked in the top 10 nationwide with social work. So it's it's a lot of like history when it comes down to academic, when it comes down to sports, when it comes down to people who attended. Lonnie Johnson, the inventor of Super Soaker. You had George Washington Carver. Rosa Parks being from Tuskegee. You have Kenny Wayne went to Tuskegee. So it's a lot of rich history and a lot of people who attended there. You had the business effect. So it's different. When I say it's different because once you hit that ground, once you hit that campus, if you don't take care of business, you would not be there for long. And what I mean by that, if you come there think you just about to party and just have a good time, you would not be there long. There's one thing about Tuskegee, they do not play, which any institute, but Tuskegee really don't play. We had to maintain 2.5 to stay academic eligible at Tuskegee. And we excel higher than that. A lot of people on the team. I want to say my senior class, it was like 12 of us, all 12 of us graduated. It was 12 of us on the football team, all 12 of us graduated. And, we had one of the highest rankings when it comes down to graduating athletes. So that alone says a lot about the program.
Right. And and you went down there and you became a staple. Like I found out you can go say Rodney Anthony name, and man, you was known about bringing that thunder and that lightning down there. Tell us about, growing up, we know about the Bayou Classic, but man, you got to play in the Gateway and the Circle City Classic where you end up being the MVP. People don't know you had 4 touchdowns being a defensive back and a linebacker. Man, how was it being the MVP for the Gateway Classic? And share with the people about the difference between those classics and what we know as the Bayou Classic.
On the Gateway Classic, we played Kentucky State, where I was the MVP. We played at St. Louis. We played on the Rams field, St. Louis Rams field at the time. And the Circuit City, I want to say the Circuit City Classic, we played on the Coast field. So being named the MVP, I still remember one of the factors that turned the game around was a play where I hit stick this guy and he fumbled the ball, which saved the touchdown. And I also had a slight concussion, which I continued to play, but and I did that for many years. Where I was a hitter. So I wouldn't take that for anything. So yes, I've been called hit stick. I've been called a Grim Reaper. I've been called a lot of stuff. I tell people I was dangerous. I was dangerous. I still remember, practicing games. Some of the things that was said and what they used to call me. Even when I played professional ball, they used to call me Thump when I played in San Angelo. And every time I used to make a big hit, they used to, rattle their feet on the floor, on the ground. So that was one of the things I was known for, is delivering that hat.
Right. And I'm quite sure the atmosphere compared to the Bayou Classic and the Gateway Classic and the Circle City Classic, I'm quite sure that's a whole different level of atmosphere compared to what we know as the Bayou Classic. Am I right?
It is, because one, I know someone who played at Grambling or played at Southern might feel different because they actually played. But I attended the Bayou Classic, but I played in those classes that I played in, like the Mohawk Tuskegee Classic. So me personally, I would definitely say it was different for me, because to see all them fans out there cheering us on, and just to see like I would say the rivalry, like, because we play Alabama A&M, which is a team in the SWAC, which we beat. We beat them. And just to see that the rivalry that comes from it was different. It was live. So I would say a lot of people might not agree with me on this, but I would put it up there with the Bayou Classic.
Right. And before we take an intermission, we're gonna come back and talk about your semi-pro winning another championship in that league and going on playing in the arena and the indoor professional leagues, pursuing your dream for the NFL. But before we go to intermission, Rodney, kind of tell us about how you're feeling once it's all soak in and you getting these accolades and you're a big man on campus and you look back at it. Man, I'm at Tuskegee. How did that feel once it all soaked in?
It felt good, because, like I say, not knowing about Tuskegee and knowing the rich history of Tuskegee, it felt different once I understood, and once I found that out, I was unlearned. I don't like to say ignorant. I was unlearned about Tuskegee, but once I got there and to find out everything that the knowledge that I had, which a lot of people don't know, Tuskegee, Booker T. Washington helped Grambling, get started, with Lewis Adams, Charles P. Adams, which, if I'm not mistaken, that was Grambling's first president. A lot of people don't know that Grambling and Tuskegee had that type of connection, So just being a part of that, it was, and now my accolades and just me graduating from Tuskegee and to say, hey, I graduated from an HBCU. When I say I'm proud of that, I'm very proud of that, because it's the Tuskegee University, so a very prestigious school, and many can't say that. Which I'm not saying I'm better than anyone, because I never. That's why I say I don't really talk about my accolades. I don't really talk about certain things. I try to be. I'm a very humble person, So I don't really talk about all my accomplishments, But I will say I'm very proud of my accomplishments, and one of them is graduating from Tuskegee with my bachelor's degree. When I was told, and I don't mean no harm, but I'm a realist. I was told that, I would never graduate by, someone that who was dear, who should have been a pillar in my life, So I at the end of the day, my mission was not to prove them wrong. My mission was just to continue building myself by putting myself in a better place. And when I went to Tuskegee and I graduated from Tuskegee, and when I tell people I'm a Tuskegee graduate, that alone stands out. It speaks for itself.
And that's why we're here today, Brother Anthony. You're a pioneer. You stand out, and you're a trendsetter, bro. You did some things that we need to get some other kids to try to do, and that's go to Tuskegee University, like Rodney Anthony. But when we come back after this intermission, we want to go into you steady pursuing that dream of the NFL, and you going on winning championships in semi-pro football, then finally getting that professional contract, playing in arena football and indoor football. We want you to share with us, Rodney, what happened on you pursuing that dream for the NFL. When we come back after this intermission, it's Tuskegee standout, Rodney Anthony, number 6, when we return after this intermission. Welcome back. We're still here with Scrap City standout and Tuskegee University standout, Rodney Anthony. Rodney, before we went to the break, you were sharing your experience about the historic and prestigious University of Tuskegee, in which we all proud of you going to. That's why we announcing and dedicating today to you. You didn't know it. I see your little sister got inducted into St. Frederick Hall of Fame, but we letting you know, bro, today you've been inducted into Immerse 360 Wall of Fame. Rodney, kind of tell us about playing professional in the various indoor and semi-pro leagues.
Okay. And before I get on now, I definitely want to give my sister, my older sister, a huge shout out on being inducted to the Hall of Fame. When I say she deserves because she's another one that handled her business on and off the court, with on and off the court and dealing with softball, But pursuing my dreams in the NFL, one of my setback was injuries, and that was one of my biggest setbacks was injuries, which I sustained, like ankle injuries, concussions, just staying healthy. But in 2008, when I sustained my ankle injury, that might was one of the best things that could have happened to me, though. And I say that because it opened my eyes and it showed me like, hey, that NFL is not promised. You get hurt, then what you gonna do? So that alone gave me a different look on like, hey, you need to graduate. They paying for your college, which Tuskegee is expensive, so you need to make sure you take advantage of it. So I would say that might was one of the best things that could have happened to me. I hate it happened to me, but that was one of the best things. So pursuing that NFL career, I still remember talking to a couple of teams, and they biggest thing was bringing up my injuries. So I did go to play in New Orleans in 2012 for the PSFL, which I played for the Louisiana Lightning, where I played safety, outside backer. We actually won the league, so I had an opportunity to win another championship, and also winning 2 at Tuskegee, so I have a total of 4 championships. And I also played in San Angelo. I played in AFL San Angelo in 2014, and I finished my career in Minnesota for the Bemidji Aspen playing indoor football. And I was about to get ready. I was continuing to go and pursue, but I sustained a career injury when I had reconstructive knee surgery. But I'd have been to different camps. I met different people. I'd have been to a football camp where they told me, like, hey, you had a great combine, a great camp, but we looking for this such guy. And what I tried to do is put myself before people that, like, who might ran a 4.2 or ran a 4.3 and let them know, like, I can still hold these guys. Because at that time, I became more fluent in my technique and things of that nature. Because now I'm older, I'm wiser, and I know the game more. So it's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. And therefore, I tell my athletes before when I was coaching at home, like, at the end of the day, hey, make sure you get your grade. Make sure you get your grade. Make sure you get a trade, or make sure you have something to fall back on. Don't let I want to go to the NFL, I want to go to the Major League be your only thing that you want to fall back or you want to do. Like, have a plan B, because life at times it have its ways where it redirects you, and that might not be your blessing. Like, I look at it, even though I was still blessed to play professionally, do I look at myself different because I didn't make it to the highest level, which is the NFL? No, because I done met NFL players who like, man, you should have been in the NFL. I done met players that told me they like, and I'm like, wow. And these people who played in the league for years, several years, So I just feel like God had something else for me, but He still put me in a position to see what I need to see to relay that message to give the kid or whomever wisdom on, hey, this is what you need to do.
Right. And with that being said, I just had Xavier Robinson on, and I remember every camp that Talance and myself ever done, the Talance Sawyer camp, the Oshawa Nickel camp, the 720 Gamers, and you also, along with Xavier, bro, helped me coach the Basket Baby Rams. And I don't know if I ever told you, but I'm going to tell you like I told Xavier, I really appreciate you guys during that time. And you guys taught me a lot. And I want to just say, you two guys were so young, but you guys' knowledge of the game, you and Xavier, I'm still flabbergasted on the system. How could we let, especially you, Tuskegee, get away, and then Xavier Robinson, who every coach premiered in some type of article in Northeast Louisiana at the time, said that this kid was actually coaching on the field. I'm right now, I'm lost how you two guys got away. Is coaching something that you always wanted to do?
Yes, and I actually started giving back when I was like still in high school. I played for the Bears in Pee Wee, so going out there and helping Coach Duvall, Coach Green, and Coach Hampton, going out there and giving the old kids nuggets, or showing them what I learned. And with coaching, me playing the game, a game that I love, that I'm dedicated about, I'm not going to shortchange whomever I come across when it comes down to sharing that knowledge, and I feel like I could reach more kids like that with coaching, so that's why I continue to coach. And my blessing comes from when I get that inbox or I get that phone call, Coach Anthony, I just want to let you know I have my degree, Coach Anthony. I just want to let you know that I'm the project manager for such company, Coach Anthony. I just want to let you know I'm an LPN now. Like those, I'm smiling now because that's my blessing. That I played a part where they felt like that they could let me know, or they continue to let me know, like, Coach Anthony, I just want to let you know I'm doing good. I appreciate you. Because one thing I used to always tell my athletes that I still tell them, be your own guiding light and not your own misdirection. Because at the end of the day, it starts with you. It starts with your star player that you see every day in the mirror. So regardless of what I try to do or what I try to tell you, you have to do. You have to perform. I can't do it for you. But if I could give you the wisdom and let you know the game, I'm going to do that. And it's more than just for the sport. I want to make you a better man. I want to make you a better woman. And when you say man and woman, you talk about characteristics. And that's life. And I tell people, sports show you what type of person a person will be when they get older. How they handle things, how they handle adversity. And just to be able to see that and try to mold those athletes to become better people as well as players, I feel like that's my purpose on this earth. One of my purpose on this earth. I feel like that's one of my purpose on this earth. I really, until this day, I really feel like that. And I let them know if anything that I could do for them, let me know. I'm still here. Even I stay in touch now with my family, but I still reach back out to a lot of people in Bastrop, like, hey, let me know, because it's so much stuff that I did for people that a lot of people don't know because I never shared it. I don't need validation. I don't need that confirmation to tell me, hey, you're doing a good job. I didn't need that,
Right. And Anthony, you've always been a humble kid ever since I've been knowing you growing up. And like I said, you and Xavier Robinson, coaching is in you guys' future. You're already doing it. And Xavier is really riding him real hard because you guys are two of the most intelligent guys. This is not just me. These are coaches, former players saying this about Xavier Robinson and Rodney Anthony. Rodney, before we let you go, you came home, you started coaching. Like I say, the system dropped the ball, didn't aid you as they should. What is something you want to share, knowing this disparity and things that we're in now in the community since you left? From the heart, what does Rodney Anthony want to share with the community of Morehouse Parish?
For the foremost, I just want to share with the community that just like when I was a little boy, growing up, it was that village. despite what's going on, the crime, the school system, in order for us to make that better, we got to want better. We say we want better, but we have to do better. And we have to understand now, especially with this generation now, just like when I was growing up, they say our generation was different. Sometimes we have to meet this generation where they are in order for us to get them to where they need to be. And we can't be scared of that, because I feel like a lot of this generation, the kids that grown up in this generation, they just don't know. They just don't know. And we as adults need to be able to show them. But we can't just show them through words. We got to show them through our actions that we care about them. We're gonna have some resistance. We are. And I still do for my community. And I just want my community to know that whatever, like I talking to Mr. Newsom, Mr. Coach Jackson, Coach Newsom, and several other people, because I'm one phone call away. If I can't be there physically, I will I will have someone or contribute to whatever I need to do for an event or anything for these kids to happen. And I will say this, Coach O, when I left in 2016, I still remember telling one of the coaches, hey, once we lose out, I'm done. I'm gone, because of what transpired. And we lost. I cried like a baby, because I knew that was my last time at that time coaching at Bastrop High School. And I just looked at it. I'm from Bastrop. I want to do for my community. I just wanted to do so much for my community, and for that, what happened to happen, it didn't sit right with my heart. It really didn't. Before I left, I was the first person to do a Black History play at the high school. I was doing campus cleanup at the high school. I was working 3 jobs and still doing community service, because my thing is, I seen what was happening with the young generation, and I felt like I had a hand on it where I could be a help. I couldn't save everybody, and I know that, but I wanted to do everything I can to save whomever I can, and I did that. And even though I'm here in Texas with my beautiful family, like I have a very supportive wife. Anything that I tell her, like, I want to do, she supports it. She's not gonna ask me why. She's just gonna tell me, okay, well, I'm with you. So one thing I want to just tell my community is, we got to overcome. We got to overcome as a whole. We just can't say these kids got to do better. We got to do better as a whole. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because I see when people say, always saying what the community needs to do, but okay, let's do it. Be that person. I remember my daddy asked me one day, I was at his house back in 2014, like, Rodney, what can I do with this? And he kind of said the slogan, pull up your pants, put down the weapons. And I say, Dad, let's put it on a T-shirt. And we did that. And we sold over 100 some T-shirts. And we tried. We've been doing things. And even with my Masonic, my Prince Hall brothers, we've been trying to come up with things that we could assist the community in. You have your Knights of Pythagoras, where if you have a kid 7 to 18, they could be a part of that. So it's things out there that's happening. You have Val, Warren, you have a lot of people that Coop, you have a lot of people that giving back, that doing. Like, don't be scared. Don't be scared if something don't happen right off, because it's trial and error. If we want success, we have to continue to break down that wall and continue to do what we have to do to see improvement. And it started at the top. It started at the top. Like, we have people down there in Bastrop that can really help. We have people that moved away from Bastrop that could still come down there and help. But we got to want the help. We always say we want help, but are we being open to the help that's being provided? That's the question.
Right. And you know, Rodney, like I said before, you're a very humble kid. I've been knowing you all your life. And man, like I said earlier, we didn't let you know, but we're letting you know now that you've been inducted to the Immerse 360 Wall of Fame, being the first.
Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Being the first to go to Tuskegee and play football and get a bachelor's degree. And Rodney, you know, you always help me, bro, from Men for Change to 720 Gamers, all the way to the Talend Sawyer story. You always been there for me and T-Saw, bro. And you know we love you like a little brother, man. And anything that we can do to help you on your endeavors, you know, we just a phone call away. Any last word before we let you go, Rodney?
I appreciate it. I thank you all for having me on the show. Like, man, it means a lot to just be able to share a little bit about myself. Cause like I say, I try not to talk about myself, you know, but and then to say I've been abducted, and I really appreciate y'all, and vice versa. Anything I could do to help you all, please don't hesitate. Let me know, cause I'm still here. I'm still here. If I can't be there physically, I might could get somebody down there physically, or I could contribute. But please don't hesitate to let me know what y'all need from me.
We thank you, brother, and we hope we can get you back real soon. I'm your host, Maserati. That's been Standout, Bastrop High and Tuskegee University's own Rodney Anthony. Hey, this has been brought to you by Involved Social and Civic Club. Shout out to Burchell Family Insurance Agency, where we understand the social and civic needs of love, learn, live, and laugh. Until next time, y'all get involved. Y'all stay encouraged. And most of all, y'all stay immersed. We out of this thing.
I was raised in the ghetto. I've been to the bottom. Ain't nothing at the bottom for me. Only tell all my problems. Seems he can only solve it for me. I was raised in the ghetto. See, struggle ain't no stranger to me. I grind hard for the paper. I think the top is where I'm destined to be.
I ain't never been no crash. I'm in love with fast money. I hate the ass.